This video is going to be two videos in one. It was done at the same house. They're both patches on a foundation. The second one was a big crack. The other one was just a little, patch up kind of thing. So here goes with the first one. I repaired this old, it was like a concrete coal type of wall. It was blistering. So all I did was just patch it up. And then the painter came 30 days later and he painted it. I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, today's job is, I got a couple holes in the wall. See the holes? Here's one here, here's one here, here's one here, there's one there, and we gotta fill that little hole in down there. So they painted it first, but we're gonna fix that. So I'm just going to use a couple point chisels. I want to grind it, but I can't do that because I'm inside. So we're just going to scar it up a little bit. No problem. Okay, that should hold. So, I don't have to get all the paint off. Just got to get off where it's loose. Right there, a little soft spot. That's okay. So I kind of chipped it out. Don't matter if a little paint's there, that's hard. Just got it chipped out so I could fill it in. I'm not going to make no big deal of it, but we're going to clean this floor up first. Okay, so the next step is we're just going to get a sponge. I'm going to rip out of my cousin's car seat. I'm going to wet that. That's making a mess. Gotta be wet. So wet that good. It has to be wet. Not wet, it's not going to stick. I'm going to do the other ones too. So now I'm going to get this rapid set mortar mix and mix it up. Now this stuff goes really fast. I'm only going to go a little bit at a time. Mix it up. So that's that. Now, just before I put it on, just want to make sure that's wet again. That's what's going to make it stick. Now, just get it in there. Kind of got to press it in. Press it in. Now if I want to get it real flat, That's it. We're just going to let that sit and monitor it so we know when to hit it. That's number one. And number two, same thing. Make sure it's wet. This stuff is drying already. So now, it's drying up pretty quick. You're going to rinse it out. Rinse it out. Get the flat side of the sponge and just go over the sides. Just like that. That's it. That's kind of done. Wait a little bit until it dries up a little more. And we're good. Then we go to this one. We could use a sponge like that to flatten it out, but if you're pretty good at it, you don't have to. Okay, that's one done. Three done. Okay, we got this. Might as well get this out of here. I don't like that. Brush it out. This is on the floor. And then get our sponge and wet it up good. Like that. Then press it in there first. So we just wait a little bit and sponge it up. Fills in all the cracks. No big deal. So now I'm trying to get up there. I can't get a sponge in, so I throw it in with the water first. Then do that. Throw it in. Now I can get my tool in there and just flatten it out some. A little bit anyway. Better than it was. So that's it. I patched all the holes up there. I came over here, I did that, a couple little divots, and then used the rest of the junk up underneath. And we'll have to come back when it's painted, see what it looks like. So that's it. You can't really see it. And I went up in there, and everything worked out. And there was the patch on the floor. They painted the floor too. Now this is the second part of the job. I just had to fix that in there. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Well, we got to patch this up here. You can see it's all kind of blistered off. Whatever. Right? It's cracked all the way down. So they're going to tell me what to do there. Well, they're going to paint this whole thing. So all they want to do is fix so they can paint it. So that's what we're going to do today. That's it. Just like a dentist, rip it out. Now this at one time had wire on it, and it was an addition, so you get a steady crack coming down. That doesn't mean it's not going to crack again. You can't stop a crack, but you can make it better. That's what we're doing. We're making it better. Just using a regular chisel, getting it all out of there. Okay, got it all chiseled out as much as it'll go. So now I'm going to just kind of mix the cement up and we're going to plaster it. So the first thing we're going to do is just get some plain old water and a paintbrush and paint it all with water. Let that water sink into there, because that's what's going to make it stick. As long as it's wet, it's going to stick. I want this to dry fast, so I'm going to use the Rapid Set mortar mix. So make sure it's wet again. Make sure it's wet. And then we get it with our hand and we put it in. How come you're not using a trowel? The hand, you can really get it in there, that's why. See it? It goes right in there. No big deal. You can feel it going in where you want to go in. Then we get a bucket, a sponge with water in it, and just wipe it off like that. See that? No big deal. Make a project out of it. Make it work. We could go over it again, see? Filling in those holes. So we're going on and we're still shoving it in by hand when we can. We're filling in behind the door. See that? The hand works pretty good, doesn't it? No big deal. And then, if you want, get your tool and make sure you really get it in there. And that's it. Sometimes you could just keep pushing in like that. We're getting it. Continuing on, packing it in. That's what we're doing. Packing it in. This is that fast drying stuff, so I get in one good time. And then I can do my final coat immediately. So we're sculpting it, just like you're doing a clay sculptor. You see that? Fill in all the holes, making it nice and even. Don't need no trowel for that. So now I get the bucket, water, and rinse it out, go right over everything. Get rid of all those stains, just like that. No big deal. Now it's paintable. So we're basically all done. It's going to dry a lot lighter, and then they're going to paint it white, like over here. Okay, this is 30 days later, and painter came and painted it. And even if there was a crack in there, I could just take a little bit of caulking and do it. But it came out really good. So that's the end of that job. So I'm going to talk about that job a little bit. That's those old concrete cinder foundations. They used to get the cinders from down at the power plant, and instead of sand, that's what they'd use with the Portland. And they weren't very good, and they weren't very strong, but they're still holding the house up. And I'm not going to go digging in there deep. I only went in maybe this much. That's enough to hold the patch. And a patch is a patch is a patch. If it was anything serious, then I'd dig it out deeper. You got to be like a dentist. You just do what you got to do. You don't rip the whole tooth out. You fix what's broken on it. Use your hand if you want. I always use my hands. The old timers always use their hands, and they just get a regular glove. They'd have different gloves before the rubber gloves came out, and then they just mold it just like a sculptor. That's all it is. Now I used the rapid set, but I wouldn't have a problem using that fast set repair mortar. That's no problem. And I don't really run around many foundations that have problems except superficial fixes. That's all they are. So I do have in the description box a place for tools and t-shirts and a website. So I hope you get something out of these videos. I'm Mike Haduck. I'll see you next video.